I was sitting in the living room watching the news. The TV was reporting a disturbing case. More than a dozen women had died one after another. One victim was wearing a necklace. It looked exactly like the one my father gave me. I walked straight up to the TV to compare it. It was no mistake. Terrifying thought hit me. I rushed to my computer and started searching. The photos that popped up on the screen, those women, looked strikingly similar to my late mother. Before my father got home, I went into his bedroom. I opened a drawer. Inside were neatly arranged sedatives. I flipped open an album. The moment I looked inside, there were no photos at all, only detailed records of methods. At that moment, I heard a car outside. My father was home. I snapped the album shut and hurried out of his room. But on the way back to my own room, I missed one fatal detail. The TV downstairs was still frozen on the victim's image. Before my father walked in, I ran over and turned it off. I forced myself to stay calm and acted normal around him. Then I noticed he was still wearing leather gloves. I pressed him for a reason. He panicked and said it was cold outside. Next day, I decided to test him again. I held up the necklace he gave me. I said it showed clear signs of use, and I wanted a new one. He said the shop was sold out, and this was the last one left. After he finished eating and left, I went up to the attic alone. In a corner, I found a box hidden away. When I opened it, it was filled with women's jewelry. Every piece was unfamiliar to me. I immediately thought of the women on TV. One ring still had dark traces on it. In that moment, I was completely certain my father was the killer. To escape the danger, I started packing my bags. I planned to leave immediately, but when I stood at the door, steps froze. I pushed it open with my eyes shut. My legs shook uncontrollably. Since childhood, severe anxiety had ruled my life. The moment I faced the outside world, it took over. Suddenly, a sharp car horn blared. I'd opened my eyes. My vision blurred. In the end, I retreated back inside. I laid out the jewelry from the attic, all of it on the table. When he got home, I pointed at the jewelry and demanded answers. He said it was all my mother's collection. I picked up the ring with the dark stain. He quickly claimed it was just red paint. I pulled out the necklace he gave me and showed him the old news footage. I closed in on the truth, pressing him about hurting others under the pressure. His expression suddenly changed. He pointed at me and said I would become mentally unstable, just like my mother once did. I froze. A darker thought surfaced. In my mother's death might not have been simple. At that moment, the man in front of me felt like a stranger. I turned and ran, trying to reach my room. I locked the door. My father kept talking outside, his voice growing more urgent each time. The door began to shake violently, my hands trembling. I called an agent and reported everything. While I was explaining, an even harsher sound came from outside. My father brought out a power drill and forced the door open. Before I could escape through the window, the door burst open. He grabbed